The secret occult societies that put Hitler into power diligently researched the ancient Tibetan, Indian, and Greek historic texts concerning prehistory, documenting the cultural, linguistic, and genetic similarities of these legends with the Nordic legends of blonde-haired, blue-eyed Aryan gods. The occult secret societies that influenced the Nazi ideology came to their conclusion that the Earth undergoes periodic global cataclysms and the vast portions of the inner Earth is hollow and has been inhabited within for many millennia by another unknown branch of humanity. Ultima Thule is the name of the capital city of the mythical continent of Hyperborea, which was historically older than Atlantis. According to legend, the Hyperboreans were the most highly technologically and socially advanced society that existed in the pre-flood age, having created large tunnels which were said to penetrate through the Earth's crust to permanently settle civilization under the Himalayas. According to some myths, they named their new kingdom Agartha, and its capital city was Shambhala, which was the mythical paradise below the Earth's surface. The Nazis believed that the Nordic-looking gods who came from the stars were a genetically distinct race from another world, who had Rh-negative blood type and did not evolve from the hominids in Africa.
One of the reasons the Germans were so focused on the master race, because some of these groups that were coming out from underground and presenting themselves to them as their forefathers were a lot of times blonde hair, blue-eyed, and very Caucasian master race looking. The master race that was depicted by these groups during that late World War I, World War II era, they had very much that look about them.
The Nazis believed that they descended from Atlantean white supermen, and they believed that they'd lost their powers. The Nazis believed that they devolved through dark races mixing with their Atlantean blood. So they were attempting to purify themselves again to get back to the original state, the Nazi God-man.
In the eyes of many Nazis, Atlantis was the mythical homeland of the Aryan race. They thought that they would be tall, blonde-haired, blue-eyed.
The Aryans, a mythical and superior race, had invented everything of value in human history. From agriculture to architecture, the creation of theater and fine art. This great Aryan culture came to life thousands of years ago, an island continent they believed existed in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. To find a trace of these ancestors, the Nazis trained their sights on the Canary Islands off the coast of Africa.
They saw this as being sort of the southern edge of this sort of mythical Atlantean continent. And they also were really kind of focused on accounts of mummies that had been found on the Canary Islands that had blonde hair.
The mummies had been examined. They claimed the blonde-haired mummies were proof that Atlanteans had once lived on the Canary Islands. And most importantly, they were Aryans. Now that they had proof of an Atlantean fatherland, the Nazi scientists concocted an even more bizarre theory to explain its destruction and disappearance. It was called the world ice theory. As the ice melted, these massive glaciers receded. Atlantis was simply scrubbed away, buried under the water. But what happened to the people?
The inhabitants of Atlantis, according to this theory, then fled to various areas that were thought to be safe refuges. They would flee to Tibet, they would flee to the Bolivian Andes.
An ancient occult legend that tells the story of a continent somewhere in the North Atlantic. There lived a race of super beings who had fallen from grace through evil and vice. the land was called Atlantis. A great flood wiped these beings off the face of the earth. But before they could all be destroyed, certain priests escaped by boat. These escaped priests, believed by mystics to be the original race of Aryan godmen, who were said to be the ancestors of all Indian and European people, descended from the super beings of Atlantis, and that they had lost their powers by mating with mere mortals. The Nordic race did not evolve, but came directly down from heaven to settle on the Atlantic continent. Ancient immigrants from Atlantis had founded a great civilization
in the high Himalayas. Here, survivors of the last cosmic catastrophe took shelter. This is the true cradle of the Aryan race.
In 1871, British novelist Edward Bulwer Lytton described a race that lived underground and sustained themselves with the vril force, or bioelectromagnetic energy. They may have been the descendants of the Hyperboreans, inhabitants of Thule. The Hyperboreans were said to have harnessed the natural power of vril to manipulate matter and energy, enabling them to extended lifespans and existing in what some might regard as a godlike existence.